G'day there, this is Paul, the Mystic Guy, and thank you for tuning into this video. This is the third in a series of clips that looks at Mystic BBS version 1.12 Alpha 36, which was released in early December 2017. There have been a number of feature enhancements to this version of Mystic, and this clip continues to take a look at some of those. In this clip I'm going to take a look at a couple of things. The first one is Fidopoll, which you may recall if you've watched some of the earlier clips is a piece of software that ships with Mystic that allows you to connect to other systems. So Fidopoll Alpha 36 has nothing particularly at first blush when you look at this that's changed, but under the hood there have been some enhancements, and I've just bring up a little clip from the what's new.txt which I've edited a little bit. The key thing is that Fidopoll can now connect to other systems via IPv6. So if you have an internet service provider that provides support for IPv6 provisioning, you can now connect to other bulletin board systems using Fidopoll, using this protocol. And now there is a new option for each echomail node. These are the systems that you set up that you wish to connect to, where you can choose whether it's going to be IPv4 or IPv6 that you want Fidopoll to connect with. And if you just choose to send netmail to what's known as an unsecured outbound connection, so that's one where you don't have the echo node specified in your bulletin board, but you're just trying to get a netmail, a private message to another node in the node list, then it will default to an IPv4 connection. So let's break that down and have a look at what this means. So on my system at the moment, I use actually I'll bring up the connections, this stuff here first, so let's just get rid of that. So in the Mystic configurations, under configuration and under echomail nodes, these are the systems that I've set up that my bulletin board, my trial system, is going to be able to poll and connect to. And you'll recall watching some of the earlier videos that we set up a couple. One was to the fsxNet hub, which has that address of 21.1.100, and also we set up another echomail node for the agency hub, which is a FidoNet system, and there's its address there, zone 3 net 770 node number 1. Now if I go into, let's choose the fsxNet hub. This screen itself hasn't changed since the last version, but if you go down into session options, which is over here, and press enter, you'll find now that when you're setting up, you've put the host address in that you're going to poll, and that's the one we've used before, agency.bbs.geek.nz, port 24556. But now here's the new bit, the session type. You can decide whether you're going to connect that system using IPv4 protocol, or if I press enter I can toggle it to IPv6. So it's a toggle setting. So if I just come back to my command prompt here, the first thing I'll do is I'll just show you that I've got ping agency.bbs.geek.nz. So you'll see that I'm pinging that address using the IPv4 protocol, and it resolves to 219.89.83.33. And likewise, if I go ping -6, I've got, whoops, not -5, I've got IPv6 provisioned on this computer, and you'll see now that it's replying with the equivalent IPv6 address, which is a little longer, and I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce that. So what we want to do is, if we leave this on IPv4 and we run Fidopoll 21.1.100, you'll see that this should connect using IPv4, and it does. You can tell there because it says polling BingP node by IPv4, and away it goes, and the session has connected and run. That's using that address, the setup address that we configured in a previous video, where we set our echomail address as 21.1.999. Remember, that's the kind of the dummy address. Just a reminder too, if you are playing with this and you are running a Mystic system and you're just trying to get your head around all this and use this address, that's cool. That's what this test address is for. But just be aware that there are a bunch of other people that will be using the same address. So if you start sending messages and then polling and trying to get a reply, you might get the reply you're looking for, or it could be another system who's doing testing will poll it and grab your messages. So I advise that once you've got yourself up and running a little bit, put in an application and grab yourself your own fsxNet node number. That way everything that you do is under your own banner. You'll never run the risk of losing messages because this is a test address. Anyway, that said, let's go back to the configuration side of things, and this time round we'll go into echomail nodes, the hub. I use the S key. Do you notice how some of the letters are highlighted? So the S for session options, if I just press S on the keyboard, bam, it just jumps me straight there. That's a helpful tip. This time we'll change the session type to IPv6 and we'll escape out. And if I go over here and I run the Fidopoll one more time, this time you can see it's now polling 21.100 by IPv6. Now, in future versions, I'm pretty sure what you'll find is you'll be able to say, I'd like to do IPv6 first, and if not, fall back to IPv4. It might be that at the moment you don't have access to IPv6, and it might be that you don't even know really what I'm talking about when I'm talking about IPv6. So if you don't, just have a Google. It's effectively a newer addressing system for the internet, which is the future, although a lot of internet service providers around the globe don't seem to be rolling it out too quickly. So that's the first little thing that I wanted to talk on with this video, and that's Fidopoll. Also, just with Fidopoll, if we wanted to make an unsecured connection, so you noticed if I go Fidopoll search and say I wanted to look for anyone in fsxNet with the name of Andrew, and so there's three systems that have come up with the SysOp or SysOp. I'm going to try and say both names to keep everybody happy, and there are three Andrews there. And if I wanted to send a message to that system, I could Fidopoll them right now. Now, even though they're not specified in my message setup as an echomail node, Fidopoll will try and connect to them. It just looks up in its known node list, but it will default to IPv4, which, when you think about it, is a sensible way to go. So there we go. You see, I've just gone and polled N's system there, and that doesn't look right. What have I done wrong there? Oh, I see. I chose 133. I was thinking, where's the Andrew? That's an operator error. You got to watch them. So that's the first thing, all to do with Fidopoll. The second thing I want to briefly touch on is another new feature that's been added to Mystic in this version of this latest alpha. And again, this is, I should say, Miss. So a new event type has been added to the server's event manager called IP blocked. And this event can be executed every time an IP has been blocked by any of the Miss server's auto-ban configuration settings. And I'll just continue to talk through what you're reading. The purpose of this is to allow you to run a command that will create a block rule at the firewall level on your operating system, so that the IP can't even reach the server, the Mystic server, in the future. So in Linux that's IP tables, and in Windows it's NetSH that are used to do this. And then there is a little variable here with the @IP@ code in the shell command, which will be replaced with the IP of any banned address. So at a default, fresh install now shows you examples for this. So if I fire up the config again and we go into editors, this is just, actually that's a good question, this isn't the default install. So this was actually my usual system that I've upgraded. So what I'll do is I'll quickly fire up what I hope is a default version of the A36 install. Now if we go into editors and event editor, that's better. Down here you'll see that shipping with the event editor, nothing's enabled to start with, but it just gives you an idea. We've got two IP blocked type events, one which is set up for Linux, one is set up for Windows, Vista and above. So if I go into this, You can see the execution type is IP blocked, because these are the other ones that some of us have played with already, but IP blocked is new. And then you can see when this is active and it is called, because Mystic is doing some IP blocking, it's now also going to run the shell command netsh advanced firewall add, in fact I have to scroll back, let's just go this way, add rule name equals IP block, dir in interface any action block, and the remote IP, and there's that wildcard. Take a look in the what's new.txt and keep an eye on that, because in future versions I'm sure that this will be teased out a little bit more. But the author's intent behind creating this is just to try and ultimately swap down a number of those bot type IPs, those random port scan type stuff that the script kiddies use, and in doing so, by adding it to your operating system's firewall, that removes one step back from the internet before it even hits your server, and it saves your server getting hit several times unnecessarily. So that's another new feature that has been added. Right, I think I'll stop there. As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and like the video. If you know someone that's into Mystic, perhaps they might want to watch some of the clips. I'll be back with more updates in the near future. Until then, bye for now.